Okay. So by this time, she finished that admission for me. And yes, she did it very sloppily, but we got the patient out and it was good. And of course, I stayed late again to make sure report is done and make sure my P's and Q's was met. And so after a while, I noticed that the more demanding this place has become, right? So I come into work the next day. Instead of the med surg floor, they got you on the ER. ER is not on the contract. Whoop de fucking do. ER is not on the contract. So I go to the ER one day, right? Now, ER is cool because the rules kind of get bent a little. You know, the rules kind of get bent a little. But this ER was a mess. It was a mess. Now, when I told y'all before when I was working Fresno, LPNs do not take beds. But at this hospital, LPNs do take beds. They actually take holds. So it's usually the people that are in rooms and they're waiting for a room to open up the med surg floor or the medical rooms. We was that backed up to the point where we just didn't have rooms. Like, it was a shit show. It was a shit show. So I had about 4, maybe no more than 5 in the ER. And these are people who are all hooked up to telly. And that was just, it was just a lot. I don't remember a time where I actually just sit down in the ER and had time for charting. The most I could do was the meds, making sure I kept up with the pain and putting in notes. But this is when I got fed up at this particular ER because this is what this charge RN did. So this charge RN, he was about to give me another patient. It was like the middle of the shift. And he was like, giving me a report. And he was like, he's going to get transferred real soon, like an hour or so. So I only had this patient for like 2 hours. So he gave him to me. And she was like, we got a bed for him. I need you to give a report to such and such. So I called such and such, about to give a report on this patient. And she's looking through the chart and she realizes, because I remember I told you I don't have enough time to look through everybody's chart. The most I could do is get meds because I'm literally on my feet. And so she's looking through the notes and she's looking that no assessment was done on this patient, or at least charted, And remind you, the people who had to do the initial assessments is the RNs, right? So she was like, although I got a report, I can't take this patient till you put that in. I was like, well, I'm an LVN. He just gave me the patient, but he's the one that did the initial assessment when they came in. She was like, okay, well, have him go ahead and chart, but I'm not going to take him. I said, understandable. So hung up. I went to go tell the RN to basically go put the information in so we can send the patient out. So he's like, why don't you just do it for me? No. I mean, it ain't nothing. Just go ahead and click it off and stuff like that. He's all stable. No. I'm not going to do that. They know I'm an LVN. Even when I do my regular assessments, not the initial one, it has to be reviewed and signed by an RN. So they're going to be looking at me crazy trying to do initial assessment when that was your job. Your name is all over that patient. So he got frustrated by that. And he was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. It's an hour later. Like, this patient is supposed to be gone. He's still in the room. And he comes up to me, he's like, why that patient ain't left? Because, motherfucker, I didn't told you to put your assessment in. He gets mad. He gets mad all over. This man goes off. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not about to argue. I'm not about to argue with you. I'm not about to argue with you because I'm ready to quit this job. I'm telling you, I'm so ready to quit this job. He was like, you know what? Don't worry about it. Send the patient out. Transport the patient. I'm like, you want me to transport the patient too? Not only I got to worry about my patient, I'm transporting too. So I'm transporting the patient, okay? I'm sending him to the next one. I told the RN, I said, hey, I told him to put the stuff in. He ain't do it. You take it up with him. I'm going to my next patient because I put my little note in and I put what he said that he wasn't going to do his assessment, his name and his credentials, and I left it at that and took that patient off my list. Sure did. Because I'm done. I did my part. I'm not about to do y'all IV meds. I'm not about to do your initial assessments. You know you brought me here for a reason. So I'm going to keep the patient stable and I'm going to ship them out. If you don't want to do your job, so be it. So be it. And I can't count more oftentimes than not. Because like I said, they had IV meds. Now I can do IV fluids. I hung IV fluid bags. But I can't start the IVs. I can't give antibiotics or anything like that. So I write down all the IV meds for RN to go do it. They literally assign one. Every time that I would give my IV meds to the RN, they acted like this shit was It was an issue. It was a problem. Even your staff LVNs, you know you have to do this. So why is it a problem for you to do my IV meds? Girl, take this stuff. Girl, take it, because I'm not going to give it. I'm not going to give it. Listen, I will just have to chase these RNs around and tell you, okay, my patient has meds, or they need a morphine or a morphine drip or something like that. You know, can we start this? This patient's pain is rated at a 10. I need it because he doesn't have any PO meds. I can't give it. They would always do my meds late. So that was another issue that was going on there. So not only am I floated from med-surg tele to the ER, they floated me to another unit that's called like a medical unit that's no tele, okay? Now this place was particularly easy, but every time that I was there, 6 patients. It ain't 4, 6, without a doubt. It was just too much at this place. But here's where I got so fed up, okay? I got beyond fed up at this place. I'm on night shift, okay? I put my letter in already. I'm on night shift. I'm trying to stay awake and trying to keep my sanity. But like I said, I have techs that don't want to help me, okay? I have techs who feel like they don't need to do what a tech is supposed to do. They feel like the only thing they need to do is vitals. So I feel like the staff did no type of delegation to the techs that they did have. Now, was there a few times where we had a tech shortage and more times than not that I had to do my full-on patient care? Absolutely. But when we did have adequate techs, they showed their ass every single time. Every single time. Every single time. And let me tell you how. There was one instance where a tech literally found me in another room. And he was like, okay, you got this patient that, you know, is shitting all over himself and shit like that. He helped me clean him up one time, right? One time. Now, he was doing it more often than not. And the tech has rounds. I got to deal with these 6 patients, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes I can't go peekaboo up in there, but at least keep up with that. I go in there again. It's hours later. Still patients covered up with shit. The tech is like, well, I mean, why don't we just leave it for the next shift to do? Because I'm tired of changing him. You only changed him once. What are you talking about? No, I'm not leaving this patient in his shit. Get your ass up in here and help me. Oh my God. So I'm pulling my head out. Because either you gonna help me or you gonna get the fuck out. It's just simple as that. Get out. I don't need your help. I'm not about to argue with no grown person. I'm not about to do it. You either gonna help me or not. Because I'm gonna get it done. This is my strike, right? So it was a couple of weeks later. I only been here for like 3 weeks, right? This is when I had my absolute wits end with this place. Another 6-to-1 ratio come in, right? Let me tell you a few about these patients. About 4 of them is COVID positive. 2 of them is not. 1 is about to die, and 1 is always on his light, right? So this patient, he made it his life goal, one of them that was always on his light, made it his life goal to literally antagonize me, cuss me out every chance that he could get because I wouldn't get him sandwiches. And I wouldn't give him juice and pudding when you're on a renal diet and you're a diabetic, okay? But he did it to every nurse. So the nurses was switching us out to take care of this patient. Remind you, no psych place would take this patient. No sniff place would take this patient because he had ran a track record, okay? Nobody wanted him. So we were literally just keeping this man here to send him somewhere where somebody will take him. And this is my 2nd time having this patient. So he's clicking on the freaking light, and I'm trying to take care of my patient that's about to die. I'm trying to keep this patient, you know, stable. Because remind you, every night that I'm at this job, somebody's coding or somebody's dying, okay? So I'm trying to make sure all mine is stable before something else happens, you know? So he's on his light, and he's getting mad because I'm not getting him crackers. I'm not giving him chocolate. I'm not fixing his TV how he wants it. He literally wanted me to hook up some wires for him because the cable wasn't working how he wanted to. Stop getting on that damn light. I can't get you sandwiches at 4 o'clock in the morning for you. You on a renal diet. You a diabetic. I literally had to go off in this patient and let him know, you are literally being the worst person right now. I'm doing the best for you, making sure that you are comfortable, making sure you have all your payments, and all you're doing is yelling and clicking the light for no reason. It's to the point where you got nurses don't even want to get your light. So if something actually happens to you, it's gonna be bad, and it's gonna be blamed on us because we can't get your light every 10 seconds, because that's how much he's clicking on this light. And like I said again, the text ain't getting it, so I gotta get it. So I told him about himself, and he shut up that entire night. I had to tell this patient about himself because you can't keep doing this to nurses. What is your problem? Let's get to the root of the issue. I got everything for you. But I had to tell him about himself. He got it all the way together. He shut the hell up then. So here I am. I'm taking care of my patient that's on his last breath, okay? He finally passes away. So I'm finding the tech again. And I'm like, hey, I need your help. I need your help cleaning up with the patient. I know you keep talking about these damn vitals, but I need help with the patient. He's a very big patient, okay? Let's get this done so I can hurry up and call the family and let them know what's up, because I gotta call all these people. Remind you, 6 patients. She thought it would be funny to tell me, no, I got something else to do, like 2 more vitals. That shit can wait. Just help me clean this person up so I can back them up. It can literally wait, because I'm sitting here running around trying to find you, and you think it's funny. And she's like, well, do I have to do it? Do I have? This is a grown woman. You're a grown woman. You're a grown woman. And you're talking about, do I have to do it? Yes, get your ass in here. Yes. Y'all see why I'm over nursing? Because staff can't get along. The techs don't want to help me. And it's always something pinned up against the traveler. Okay? And then I'm sleep deprived. I ain't got no lunch, because usually on my lunch I just sleep in my car. So I'm losing it. So the few people that actually wanted to help me bag up this patient and clean them up, we had to bag them up twice and tag them, because come to find out, we have no mortuary to send this person. So I got to get in contact with the house soup, take his IV out, clean him from head to toe, make sure that he's ready to go. So I had to bag him, and I actually had to transport this patient. That's why I said I'm so sick of nursing, because how did I become 10 people in one? That's literally what happened to me. I became 10 people in one. And I was like, you know what? The money ain't even worth it. So bagging up the patient, cleaning him up. House soup's like, yeah, you got to take him down to the end and put him in the room. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, cool. We ain't got no transportation to come do it, because I can't just up and leave the floor. I got these other patients to deal with. What if somebody codes? She like, don't worry about it. I'm like, girl. So I'm like, okay, cool. We pushing the body. We go down to this place in this room, right? There's several other bodies lined up. Remind you, I hate to say it, but I'm so desensitized to death right now. It's not even funny. It ain't funny. Like, I literally was with this man till his last breath. I'm stressed out. He ain't had nobody to be with till his last days. And I'm sitting here pushing him in this room, and he got trickles of water everywhere, right? Just filthy. It ain't even cold. It's barely even cold in this room. And literally the bodies that I do see, they put a 7-Eleven ice bag on top of these bodies. There wasn't even an ice bag for me to put on my patient, okay? So she like, yeah, just leave him here. You know what I'm saying? We'll have to figure it out later. So I'm just shaking my head. I'm looking at all these bodies, and I'm like, no fucking way. This is disgusting. Because if it was my people, it was just a messed up thing. I'll never forget that. So here I am. I'm already frustrated. I didn't even walk, barely. My big toe barely even got over that line. Here come the charge nurse. You got another patient coming.